Today, I want to talk about the things that I can't live without, or maybe more so, I really don't want to live without as a minimalist, as a person trying to consume intentionally and only having the things that add value to my life. Now, this video will more so focus on material things, like actual stuff that I own. But of course, I do want to say that there are many non-material things that are absolutely necessary that I can't live without, such as, human rights, safety, health, and of course also like water, food, a roof over my head. But I still think it's very interesting to talk about these like essentials for my life that I own, that I don't want to live without. Let's maybe start with like a very basic thing, and that's wool socks. I'm wearing them now. I also have like a pair here to show you, but actually I'm like wearing one of my favorite pairs, another one is in the laundry. So here are some wool socks that I don't really like that much, but wool socks, I've all knit them myself, are essential for me. My feet just tend to be cold, and no matter if it's summer or winter or spring or autumn, they kind of are always cold. And so one of the things that I do is wear warm socks. And so I'm usually wearing self-knitted wool socks all year round, and I absolutely don't want to miss them from my life. In preparation for this video, I actually asked my boyfriend and my son what they think are important things in my life. And they kind of answered the same things as I answered for myself. And a lot of it, like a lot of the pieces were actually tech. So my laptop, my phone, my camera. Now, they are also things I need for work. And so it's kind of important in my life, obviously. I could potentially live without tech. I absolutely don't want to. I'm actually very, very happy to live in a world where I can have a powerful laptop. I'm not super happy with the laptop itself anymore because it's getting older and slower, where I can have a functional, reliable smartphone. Now, this is also one that I've bought secondhand. It's not the one that I wanted to have, but just one that was available in Norway where my old phone broke. So it's not that particular smartphone I'm very fond of. And also the camera. Now this I picked and I'm really happy with the camera I have. And here I took like this category because I don't have like, I cannot say I swear by this model of laptop, phone or camera, because I think it's really different and that's not what really matters. But reliable modern technology does really make my life easier, and I don't want to live without it, and I couldn't live my current life without it. Now here I of course also want to mention that these are also potentially not things that make our life better, but worse if we kind of like get addicted to them, and if we don't spend enough time in the actual world and just spend it on social media and watching TV shows. And I know myself well enough that I also know that that can be a risk for me, that I have to kind of like pay attention to make sure that I'm not like spending too much time on the internet with my phone and my computer and things like that. And I think it's absolutely okay to, watch YouTube videos, follow people on social media, listen to podcasts, watch something on Netflix. I think it's a great way to kind of, on one hand entertain ourselves, but also learn and connect and spend meaningful time as well. The third thing I really don't want to live without is some like physical mementos and sentimental items. Now, as a minimalist, I think it's very interesting, this relationship with our stuff, because on one hand, I think if we call ourselves minimalists and if we strive for minimalism, it's always about kind of letting go and not owning things and decluttering things and knowing that you kind of need nothing or just less. But on the other hand, I think it also helps us to just become more aware of our relationship with things and also of our maybe attachment to things. And I don't think that that is naturally a bad thing. I think as humans, we all know we kind of need some things. And if we don't own them, if we really just own 10 items, then most likely we're like borrowing all the other things we need from other people. In a sense of like living in a hotel room, eating food that other people prepared. So our life does not work without things. And if we accept that as a fact, then it just all becomes about balance, about like how much stuff makes sense in my current life. And so I decluttered my sentimental items, because sentimental items usually, they just have not much of like a functionality. They don't have a lot of like purpose other than being like here to trigger memories, to remind us of something. And so it's always kind of a question, how much joy does it bring me and how much does it weigh me down, because it doesn't have really a function. And so I decluttered my sentimental items and I got rid of a lot of things. But I realized that the things I do want to keep are mostly pictures, digitally, and also like on paper, a few, but I digitized most of my paper picture and gave them away, threw them away. And also just a few like things I draw as a kid, or, you know, paintings, things like that. And in here, that's like a drawing I made when I was like 4 or 5 or something, just a lot of colors, and I still think it's very beautiful. But in here, I also have like a bunch of old photos. So this, for example, is a picture of me when I was 1. And this one, I think I was maybe 4. And I showed pictures of like these before 11. I just have a few pictures still on paper and I like them. I like having them here in one of the drawings I made as a kid myself. And it's just that I don't mind keeping that. I really think it adds more value than it adds burden to my life. And so in that equation of like making sure that the stuff you do own has more of a positive impact than a negative one, I think this wins, this can stay. That's okay. And that's not like all of my physical sentimental items. I'm going to link you a video where I go over all of them. And I really don't want to live without those. I really don't want to lose those. And of course I would survive if they like went away, if somehow I ended losing them. But I do not want to live without them, and I think that's okay. And then another like very specific item that I own and that I don't want to live without is my backpack. It's the Wakes one. It's a sustainable and ethical backpack from a startup in Berlin, and I've had it for 2.5 years now, over 2.5 years now, and I love it. And it's the only backpack I have and use, and it's perfect for everything I need. And so that's why this like specific backpack made it on the list. By the way, I'm gonna link to the backpack down below if you are interested in that as well. But this backpack just makes it on the list because it is kind of the perfect backpack. And in the past, I've made another video about like my favorite items I own. I'm going to link it up here. It's like over 2 years old, but at that point. And also this backpack was in that video. It's the only thing that's in both of these videos now. And I just do have to say, I'm still surprised with how perfect this backpack is for my life. And now I don't think that this backpack is perfect for everybody. And I think there are other items that are perfect for other people and that might not be perfect for me, of course. But just this was a great decision to buy this backpack, and I'm very happy I have it, and I hope to be using it for many more years to come. Another very specific like material thing that's important in my life is hard drives like this one. Like this is a specific one, and I always kind of buy a new one of these because it's protected against, you know, bumping on the ground, and it's just a good quality hard drive. And I do have to say, I'm not really like emotionally attached to it, more so maybe it's content, but it is a very, very important part because without these hard drives, my life would be a lot more complicated. And so this is kind of like a product that I found that I think I'm going to stick by, and that is making my life easier and better. And that's just important as a content creator and as a person that likes to take pictures and videos in general as well, like privately, and not just, you know, for my job. So it's an essential. But now to the next thing, and that kind of goes back to like more so a category and not a specific item that you can buy. And it's, I am very, very grateful, and I don't want to live without my wardrobe. No, obviously we all need clothes, and there are different kinds of clothes, and there are clothes we hate but we still wear, and there are clothes we love. And in my past video about these favorite things, I had a pair of linen pants that I absolutely loved. And so that specific pant made it on the list. And now I do have to say, I'm not sure if I can like pinpoint one item in my wardrobe that I say like I don't want to live without that, but I do want to say that overall I'm very, very happy with the wardrobe I have. And here I do want to mention like my uniform from my Scandinavia trip, which is this like old Organic Basics sweater. At the moment, I'm not partnering with Organic Basics because they had like a lot of changes and discontinued all their partnerships. So we really have to see how it continues to think about whether I would consider partnering with them again or not. But this is like just an amazing like basic wool sweater. It's a great material, it's great quality, it's a great color. I like the cut. It just makes me feel comfortable, and it makes me not think about the clothes, but more so be able to actually like conquer life or whatever I'm doing. The other piece is this corduroy pants I got secondhand in Switzerland this spring, and it's the other item that I just wore almost every single day on our trip to Scandinavia this summer. But most of my other clothes are like almost as perfect, and so I just want to like mention my wardrobe as a whole. And then another item on the list, and it's maybe the most controversial because I don't want to live without it, even though I'm using it for a very, very small part of my time. And it's the dehydrator we have in our kitchen. Actually, right now we don't even have it because I like borrowed it to a friend. But this dehydrator is something we just use for maybe a few weeks to a few months a year. But it's just such a great thing. Drying, especially apples, but you can also dry mushrooms and herbs and, you know, different fruit and vegetables, is something that just is a lot harder without this specific device. And this specific device, I think, is still a lot better than a lot of others that are available on the market. So it's a Swiss brand, and we had the same at home when I was a child, and we specifically tried to buy it like secondhand on an online marketplace, and we succeeded last year and bought one. And we've had so much joy and so many dried apples, and I'm sure you can dry these things in different ways. But that's just so much easier this way than any other I can imagine, that I'm very happy to have it. In preparation for this video, I also watched other videos of people like telling their favorites or their essentials or the things they can't live without. And I kind of have to say I struggled with coming up with many of those. And all of these people had like 10 things or more. And I do want to say that me not coming up with even like 10 essentials is maybe partly because how I like define essentials, of course. But also I think like being a minimalist and thinking a lot about things and thinking a lot about attachment also means that for me, a lot of things are kind of exchangeable. A lot of the items I own, I am happy to own them. I'm grateful for them. I like using them, but I don't care too much if it's that exact item or if it's a different similar one. That's one reason why I think my list isn't that long. But the other thing is, of course, also that maybe it kind of depends how old you are and how much just of like a things person you are in general. So of course, the older you get, the more time you have to like find items in the world, in your life that you cherish, that mean something to you. And then on the other hand, kind of depending on what kind of a person you are more attached to items than other people. And I do have to say, I think I'm not very attached to items, but I'm also just not one of these people that want to throw out all of their sentimental items and all of their things because they do have no attachment whatsoever to their things. And with that video, I kind of just wanted to put that out there, and maybe it's interesting to you, but I'm sure there are different things that are important in your life, and that it also varies in number, that you might have only one thing or none at all that are important to you, or you have 200 things that you really don't want to live without. The material part is just one part of this whole what is important to me, but it's also only a small part of minimalism, because I think minimalism should be a lot more than just decluttering your items, but also thinking really a lot about your relationship with the world, with items, with attachment, with people, with what is important to you, and how to live your life in a way that makes you content and that helps you achieve the things that are important to you and helps you, be the person you want to be. And therefore, remove unnecessary stuff and people and things that are in the way of you going in that direction you want to go. So I do want to say thank you so much for watching this video, and I will link another video right here that I am sure you will enjoy, and I do hope to see you there. Otherwise, maybe next week in my next video. Have a great day. Bye!